Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I would like to request the brothers who are in the lobby to please start making your way inside. We're going to be starting very soon. So all the brothers who are planning to attend, especially the Suhbah boys, please make your way inside to the men's prayer hall right now, inshallah. And I would also like to request any brothers who are behind the glass doors, to vacate that area for the sisters. And the sisters are welcome, if you would like, the sisters are welcome to come to the area that is behind the glass doors downstairs. Particularly the sisters who are in the Suhbah program, all the girls who are in the Suhbah program, I would like to see you downstairs behind the glass doors, please, inshallah ta'ala. And once again, the brothers, any brothers in that area, please move forward, vacate that area for the sisters. Jazakumullah khairan. We'll get started soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Once again, the brothers who are outside in the lobby who would like to participate in the program, please make your way inside to the prayer hall. We're going to start very soon, inshallah ta'ala. And please vacate the area behind the glass doors. That area is for the sisters. Any girls from the Suhbah program, they need to be down here, inshallah, behind the glass doors. The rest of the sisters, it's your choice. You can be upstairs or downstairs. At any time during this session, if you have a question that comes to your mind that is related to what we are talking about, related to the topic of fasting, Ramadan, you can send your question by text. I'm going to give you a number. You may want to write it down right now or save it somewhere. Okay? I'm going to give you a second to pull out something where you can record the number. So you can send your text to this number. You ready? It's 972-379-7624. Once again, 972-379-7624. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we will begin now. It's 2:30. We want to thank everyone for taking out the time and for their participation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our presence here today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make these sessions a means of fine-tuning our plans for the blessed and holy month of Ramadan. And may He make it a means of our success in this upcoming month and a means of our salvation in the akhirah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد عبد الله ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, I want to begin by first giving you an overview of what we're going to be covering today and tomorrow, inshallah. As for today's Saturday, we're going to be focusing on three key areas. Number one is historical, number two is spiritual, and number three is deeds. In regards to history, what is the history of fasting? Why is fasting so important? What is the significance behind fasting? In light of history, we'll be discussing that. In regards to spirituality, we'll be talking about the spiritual opportunities that are in this blessed month, and also we'll be talking about the gauge, and I'll just leave it to that. Finally, we'll be wrapping up today with talking about the various deeds and the virtues that one can obtain during this blessed month of Ramadan, and then we will inshallah open it up for questions and answers. As for tomorrow, Sunday, inshallah, tomorrow we will be discussing the jurisprudence of Ramadan, the fiqh of Ramadan, in regards to the do's and the don'ts, the laws, the leniencies that are there. We'll be discussing that. Then after that, we're going to be putting everything in perspective. There's a lot of virtues and a lot of opportunities, but really what's practical for me? You know, many times what we fail to do as scholars is, upon telling people the virtues and the opportunities, is what's the game plan, and also how you, not us, how you as an individual can take something home and make it happen. So what's the practical thing that we can do versus just the virtues that we know? We know reciting the Quran in Ramadan holds great reward, but what's practical for me? How do I start? So that will be discussed tomorrow. And last but not least, in regards to what I just said, we'll put forth a plan of action, inshallah. A 9-step plan of action that you and I and all of us can have a good Ramadan, inshallah. Does that sound good, everybody? Inshallah. Sheikh Arsalan, do you have anything to say before we begin? Inshallah. Bismillah. Okay. So let us begin, inshallah, today with historical aspect. And the reason we're going down into the annals of history and we're going down history lane is because truly you cannot appreciate something unless you have a comparison. Does that make sense? A person who is healthy, when they see someone sick, they say Alhamdulillah. When a person has 2 hands, sees someone with 1 hand, says, what do we say? Alhamdulillah. A person who is walking on the street to work, sees a person rolling their wheelchair down the street to their work, what do we say? Alhamdulillah. But unfortunately, the sad thing is we never have the opportunity to truly express that gratitude and appreciate what we have until or unless we see something different. And that's why we learn from the advice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that in regards to, and I'm going to paraphrase this, in regards to religious aspect, in regards to deeds, in regards to spirituality, always gain inspiration by looking at the one who is 1 notch or 1 level ahead of you. Does that make sense? And a person says, okay, I come to the masjid and I pray 5 times a day. What do you want from me? No, but this person is actually fasting every Monday and Thursday. Hey, you know what? I want to do that also. So what happens is when you look at religion, look at someone who's ahead of you, because that will be your inspiration to continue motivating yourself. Don't be content with where you are. But when it comes to the worldly life, when it comes to materialism, when it comes to the possessions of this world, always look at someone below you. Because truly, innal insana lakafur, humankind is really ungrateful. That's who we are. And if we cannot tone that by this methodology taught to us by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we're going to lose out, and we truly are. Because we're always looking at the people ahead of us when it comes to the world, and we always look down at the person in religion. Hey, you know what? At least I pray. That person doesn't pray. Oh, we have a car from 96. That person has from 2016. So there's been a switch, and what we need to do is kind of turn it back around, inshallah. But that's not what we're discussing today. What we're discussing today, inshallah, is the history of fasting. And for you and I to truly appreciate fasting before we appreciate Ramadan, before we appreciate the Quran, before we appreciate Laylatul Qadr, before we appreciate the last 10 nights, before we appreciate Taraweeh and everything else, let us understand what was fasting in the past. So what we know is Yom Kippur. Let's go back to the Jews, because they are the most senior faith out of the Abrahamic faith. Anyone tell me who are the three Abrahamic faiths? Anyone? Hands? Yes. So Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam. So let's go back to Judaism, where they fast 2 days a year. The first is Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is known as, if you translate it, the Day of Atonement. Basically, fast in the Jewish faith should be one of self-denial. You are seeking repentance to God for something that happened in history which you were not a part of. I want you to keep these notes. You're not a part of. Because the Jewish faith continues the practice of reflection of mistakes made by the children of Israel at the time of Moses. Peace be upon him. Right? While the Christians continue the concept that Jesus died for our sins, so we're good to go. Is everyone with me? But the Quran makes it very clear, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Every person is responsible for their own actions. No one will carry the burden of anyone else's burden tomorrow. So, in the Jewish faith, as you atone for sins, you deny yourself because what happened in the history of the Jewish faith. Now, of course, before Yom Kippur, there are the 10 days of Rosh Hashanah, where they're seeking forgiveness, Allah's forgiveness, so that their names can be enshrined in the Book of Life. And this is something that they do through what we call self-denial. And what is this self-denial in regards to? Well, the Jews wandered in the desert for how many years? The deserts of Egypt? The Quran speaks about it. How many? 40 سَنَةً فِي الْأَرْضِ. For 40 years, they're wandering in the desert. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did with His believers, I want you always to remember, the Quran is a continuation of previous holy scriptures. And the Quran is addressing in the Quran the Christians and the Jews and the mistakes and the misconceptions of them. Why? Because this Quran isn't for you and I exclusively. We're not special people, and never consider yourself special people. Where the Jews went wrong is they felt that they are نَحْنُ أَبْنَاءُ اللَّهِ وَأَحِبَّاؤُ. We are God's children and His beloved people. So we are not special. There is no superiority complex when it comes to Muslims amongst Muslims or Islam over other religions. Does everyone understand that? We need to take this away because the Quran is addressing the Jews in this practice, in this ideology, in this belief. So what happened was, going back to the historical aspect, the Jews were enslaved in Egypt for 40 years, and that was because they worshipped the golden calf. The Quran talks about it. That's when Musa came down from the mountain. The difference between the Islamic, the Quranic narration and the Jewish narration is that the Jews started worshipping the calf, and Musa went up to the mountain to seek Allah's forgiveness. Where in the Quran we learn Musa was going up to the mountain with his people. Everyone's with me? Musa was taking his people on this journey to go up to the mountain to get the revelation. But he was so happy he was going to meet Allah and talk to Him, he went faster and he outpaced his people. And when he got to Allah, Allah said to him and asked him, the words are in the Quran, وَمَا أَعْجَلَكَ عَنْ قَوْمِكَ يَا مُوسَى. Musa, why did you come so fast? Why did you outrun your people? And what did Musa ﷺ respond? هَؤُلَاءِ عَلَىٰ أَثَرِي. Allah, I didn't outpace them. They're right behind me. They're coming. I just came to you. وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى. Allah, I just came to you fast because I wanted to be happy. I wanted you to be happy with me. And what did Allah say to him? Nope, they're not coming. You left them so far behind that this guy named Samri has started a new fitna. And the fitna, the test is, hey guys, I have God. Do you have God? No, Moses went to God. No, listen guys, I got God here. I'll show it to you. And so the different narration shows he puts together this golden calf, he throws on its special dirt, and this thing starts making noise. And this is your God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Samari has now tested them. Because of this mistake, this grave mistake, that they had to suffer for 40 years. Now 40 days or 40 months, 40 years, till today the Jews fast this fast of self-atonement and also self-denial. We have to punish ourselves for that mistake. Where Allah is telling us in the Quran, everyone that I sent a message to made mistakes. I'm giving you this Quran so you do two things. Number one, you learn from other people's mistakes and you don't make those mistakes. Everyone's with me? You can learn two ways in life, everybody. Life is the same. You can't take a train that's going south and end up in Oklahoma. It doesn't work. Unless you go all the way around the world. Well, if it's a flat earth, you're stuck. You're just going to fall off the grid. But if the world is round, according to some, you go all the way around and come back, which takes too long. But you have to learn from what Allah tells you. If you don't learn from what Allah is telling you, you will learn the hard way, which is through your own mistakes. And the second thing is, when we stay together, and we learn together, and we practice together, and we worship together, which our whole religion's about, the chances of this type of mistake will not happen. Because Musa is the prophet, Bani Israel is his people, he just left them for a bit. You understand what happened? And they fell into this fitna. So the Jews fast from sunset to sunset, 25 hours. And their fast is from food and from water. Is everyone with me on this? So from 8:12, 8:10 till 8:11 next evening, next day. So they fast 2 days a year. One is, of course, Yom Kippur, as we spoke of, and the second day is Tisha B'Av, which is also mentioned in the Torah in Leviticus, chapter 23, verse number 26 to 32. So the Jews fasted. But what was the reason, everyone? Could you tell me? What was the reason? Atonement. And to kind of punish yourself. You messed up. Why'd you mess up? You can't mess up like this again. So it's atonement and self-denial. Let's go to Christians. In Christianity, fasting is not prescribed. Fasting is documented. In Acts chapter 13 verse 4, Acts chapter 14 verse number 23, in Luke chapter 2 and chapter 5, it talks about noble saints and prophets of the past that fasted. And as in Quran, aqimus salah wa, everyone? Atu zakah, pray and charity. Charity and pray go hand in hand, right? In the Bible, prayer and fasting went hand in hand. The goal for that was to explain that if you want to show your love to God, if you want to express your admiration to Allah, and you want to show Him your intentions to gain closer to Him, you fast. But there's no prescription in Christianity for fast. Now I want all of you to understand one thing on a side note. When we talk about the people of the book and their practices, laws, such as food. And we talked about this 2 months ago in my class. The Bible has no law in regards to food. Just remember that. I want you to remember this. Because they believe that Jesus dying for their sins absolved them from any command. You will not find Christian faith super observant of food as you find the Jews. Yes or no? Have you heard of kosher food? Yes or no? Have you heard of Christian kosher? No. There isn't. Well, that's a topic for another day. Just keep that in your mind with Chick-fil-A. Just keep that in your mind. There's no such thing as Christian process of halal meat as there is in kosher. But anyways, in the Christian faith, they abstain from food, drink, sleep. Yes? Muslims, we love sleeping. If it's Ramadan, let's stay up all night and sleep all day so we don't feel hungry. In the Christian faith, you stay away from food, drink, sleep, and relationship, sexual relationship, only for the sake of showing to Allah you love Him and you want to connect to Him. There's no prescribed time, there's no prescribed days, there's no prescribed duration. But they always say, if it's not possible medically, don't do it. So it's nothing that's there. Now they just had their Easter, and they had the 40 days before Easter, where almost every devout Catholic Christian fasted. But in those 40 days, they didn't fast 40 days. They fasted from one thing in those 40 days. So I'm going to fast from chocolate. I'm not going to eat chocolate for 40 days because I want to show God my love. Right? Alhamdulillah. It's fine. We're not here to criticize. We're not here to compare. We're here to kind of understand the history. They're saying that we're going to fast from one thing just to show God our connection. So generally in biblical times, fast was one day in Lent. In Judges chapter 20 verse 26 it says, "Then all the sons of Israel and all the people went up and came to Bethel and wept. Thus they remained there before the Lord and fasted the day until evening. And they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before their Lord." So what is this telling us? What is this telling us? The Jews fasted for atonement. The Christians fasted to show Allah we love you. Do you understand? Punish myself, tell myself why, and say, "Oh Allah, I love you." These were the two things. Now what happens in Islam? Brothers and sisters, fast is the most amazing thing in our Islam. It's so amazing and it's so unique, and I'll tell you why. Let's look at the history of Islam now. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everyone, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, came to Medina Munawwara, 17 months after arriving in Medina, stabilizing, situating, reacclimating with a society, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did amazing things here, which never happened in Makkah. There's a reason why Makkah was the home of the Prophet ﷺ, but Medina became the adopted home of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Many of us say that we are from our back home countries. We teach our children that's our home, right? You know, we're from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt, Algeria. That's our home. But we've made America our adopted home. Imagine if we were to turn that around. Does that make sense? So you know what? We were from there, but now we're from here. The pride, the joy, the excitement, the embracing of my home here is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, "Oh Allah, your Khalil, Ibrahim, alayhi salam, made dua from Makkah. Oh Allah, I make twice the dua from Medina." Why did he do that? He said that moment that my home is Makkah, but now I want to make my home, which place everyone? Medina. And not only did he want to make it his home, he made the commitment that this is my home. To the extent that he fully embraced it. He went from there and he was stopped, but he came back in Hudaybiyah. He went back again and he conquered and he came back. He went back again, he performed Hajj and he came back. He didn't say Hajj is over, I'm staying here now. He went back and he passed and buried in where? Medina Munawwara. So what happened in Medina, I'll tell you why this was so important to him. 17 months into this migration and reacclimation to this new society, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did something amazing that day. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطَرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the area which is known as Masjid Qiblatayn. If you walk into the masjid, which is a large masjid, approximately the area when you enter the door and the Qibla is in front of you, if you turn around and look by the door on the top, on the roof, it has like a prayer mat. It has a prayer mat engraved in the wall, like a picture of it. And basically what narrations say, Rasulullah is leading Dhuhr prayer. And قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. In Makkah, the Prophet had to pray towards where? Jerusalem. And that is north. But he loved the Kaaba because this was his home, right? So what he did was he would pray behind the Kaaba north. Does that make sense? So he would put the Kaaba in front of him and pray towards Masjid Aqsa. Because he loved the Kaaba, he loved this being the center point of earth, the first house on earth, but you pray from here to Masjid Aqsa. But now he went north. Now he's north. And Aqsa is north from there, and Makkah is south. So he can't do that anymore. And so constantly in his prayer he look up and say, oh Allah, I want to pray towards Makkah. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. You look up. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبَلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. If Sheikh has said, he'll explain to you, فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ. This is a verb, a present and future verb. It's a mudari' and it has emphasis. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ. So ka is you, but it has three emphases in there. We will for sure turn you towards the direction that will make you happy. Now when he's in prayer, he prayed 2 rak'ah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطَرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Turn to Masjid Haram. So he got up, and he walked across to the opposite side, and the Sahabas turned in their spot 180. And he completed the prayer, and now Makkah became the what? Makkah became not just the Qibla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Makkah the capital of Islam. All previous states, their capital was Jerusalem. Yes? It was Jerusalem. Allah today, in Medina, defined the capital of Islam. How important is this? A country that's at war is at war until the capital falls. The second the capital falls, the country is done. Yes or no? How many countries have changed their capital to a place where it would be much more difficult for the enemies to reach? Because if the capital falls, the country falls. Makkah became our capital that day. Medina was his home. Why? Because it was in Medina that Allah made Makkah the capital. When he was in Makkah, Allah did not make Makkah the capital. But when he went to Medina, Allah made Makkah his capital. And that's why it burned the people of the book. And the Quran says it in the second juz. سَيَقُولُ السُّفَهَاءُ مِنَ النَّاسِ مَا وَلَّاهُمْ عَنْ قِبْلَتِهِمُ الَّتِي كَانُوا عَلَيْهَا. The crazy, stupid people would say, why are they turning? It wasn't of any matter to them. But what mattered to them was the inner thing that was burning. Every prophet prayed there. Why are they praying there now? Do you not understand? A big move just happened. Allah said the legitimacy of Masjid Aqsa for the last religion is a holy site, but the capital is now Makkah. The capital is now Makkah. Number 2, we know that when the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims migrated to Medina, they saw the Jews fasting. And so they fasted just as the Jews fasted. Yes, everyone? They fasted the same way, the same days and the same way. So the Jews fast from when to when? Sunset to sunset. So where were the Muslims fasting? Sunset to sunset. It was the same thing. The laws of fasting that the Jews adopted and were prescribed, the Muslims were fasting the same way. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started giving the Muslims specific commandments in regards to fasting. For example, we learn in chapter 2, verse number 183, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Allah is now clarifying something. Now, you could ask, why is Allah clarifying the mistakes of the Jews and the Christians? It's none of our business. We may assume that, right? This Quran is for Muslims. They had the Bible and Torah. They should have figured it out. No, don't say that. Allah is not addressing you and I because we're special. I already said this. Allah is addressing all of mankind, Muslims, the people of the book, and all of humanity. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in chapter number 27, verse number 76, Inna hadha al-Quran. Verily this Quran. Which Quran, everyone? Which Quran? This Quran. This Quran. Not the Bible, the Torah. إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ يَقُصُّ عَلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ أَكْثَرَ الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ يَخْتَلِفُونَ. This Quran relates to the children of Israel, most of which they used to disagree. They had many misconceptions that came into the faith. What was one of the misconceptions? That we fast because we need atonement. We fast because we need atonement. What was a Christian belief? We'll fast if we want to fast because we want to show God we love Him. Allah said, no, that's wrong. The purpose I made fast for you, Muslims, was the same purpose I made it for the people before you. What is that, everyone? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And what is the definition of تَتَّقُونَ? I talked about in 2 khutbahs. Anyone recall? Save yourselves. Save yourself in the protection of Allah. Fasting is the only way. Fasting is the only way that you can say to Allah, oh Allah, I give up. I give up what? I give up control over what I think is my destiny. I give up control of my affairs. I give up control of trying to solve my problems. I give up control of trying to change the hearts of humanity against Islam, that are against Islam. I'm giving up on trying to show the world that I am a better person. I'm giving up. Because fasting is your opportunity to give in to Allah and say, Allah, you take it from here. You're giving the wheel to Allah. You're giving the reins of life to Allah. Allah, you take it. I can't do it. Because our whole life we think we are everything and we can do everything. Fasting is saying we gave it to the Jews so they gave it up. But they didn't give it up. We gave it to the Christians so they could give it up, but they thought it was like a blessing or a barakah. Do it if you want to. Ayyama ma'dudat. They had only a few days. They were given a few days to figure it out. Allah is now giving you a month. So He gives us, for example, the rules that we'll talk about tomorrow. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. If you're sick, if you're traveling, fast other days. Whoever cannot fast at all, give a fidya. Whoever fasts more, it's better for them. And if you continue to fast, it's good for you if you know. شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنِ. Subhanallah. Allah made Ramadan special. Yes or no, everyone? Ramadan is a month that's in the Quran. It's defined by Allah before the creation of time. Inna iddata shuhuri inda Allah isna ashara shahra. 12 months was defined and determined by Allah before He created the heavens and the earth. Ramadan is number 9. What number is Ramadan? 9. So we're number 8. We're going into number 9. Ramadan is not special. It's just another month. But fasting was prescribed in that. Did that make it special? No. Fasting didn't make it special. The fact that Allah revealed the Quran, in this month, He is teaching you the deed and the means. That you want the Quran, I'm going to give you the Quran and tell you how to absorb the Quran. I'm going to give you the seed and tell you how to grow the seed. I'm going to give you the recipe and show you how to bake the cake. Does that make sense? Allah never left us hanging. He gave us the Quran in this month. The Quran is what honors this month of Ramadan. Nothing else. But when He gave the Quran, He also gave